Anna took one last look in the mirror. The white wedding dress she had been working on with the designer for 6 months perfectly emphasized her figure. The hand-embroidered lace created an incredible pattern on the corset, and the long train added a royal majesty to the image. She smiled dreamily as she recalled how she had met John 3 years ago at a charity event where she was presenting a project to help orphans, and he was one of the main sponsors. That evening changed her life. John won her over with his sincerity and intelligence. At least she believed it at the time. "You look incredible!" Lisa, her best friend since college, exclaimed as she walked into the room. She was wearing an elegant lavender dress, the color Anna had personally chosen for her maid of honor. Anna turned to her friend, feeling her heart overflow with gratitude. "Thank you for being here. I don't know how I would have managed all this preparation without you. You've done so much. What else do you need your best friends for?" Lisa smiled, adjusting the bouquet of white roses and freesias. "By the way, I left a flash drive with photos from the fitting on your desk. Do you want to take a look while you have time? There are some stunning shots on there. The room was full of pre-wedding excitement. The voices of the guests were coming from somewhere, and they had already started to gather in the church." Anna nodded and walked over to the laptop on the antique dressing table, a wedding gift from her grandmother. "You know," Anna said, plugging in the flash drive, "I still can't believe this day has come. It seems like only yesterday that John proposed to me in that restaurant." "Oh, I remember," Lisa laughed. "You called me at 2 a.m, crying with happiness." Looking through the photos, Anna recalled every moment of the wedding preparations. Here, she and the girls are choosing a dress. Here they are tasting the wedding cake. Here they are rehearsing their makeup. Suddenly, her gaze landed on one photo that seemed to have accidentally found its way into the wedding collection. Her heart sank. The picture was of John and Lisa, in his office, half naked, in an unambiguous pose. The date on the photo was 2 weeks ago. It was then that Lisa said she was working late because of an important project. Anna felt the blood drain from her face. All the times Lisa had accidentally met John in the city, all her late-night calls, all the times she had enthusiastically talked about his business successes flashed before her eyes. "What are you doing there?" Lisa's voice sounded very close to her, and Anna quickly closed the laptop. "Did you find anything interesting?" "Nothing. Just thinking." Her voice sounded strangely calm, although everything inside was screaming with pain and betrayal. She looked at her best friend and saw a completely different person now. "Are you feeling okay? You've suddenly turned pale. Maybe it's because of the excitement?" Lisa came closer, putting her hand on her shoulder. "I'm fine." Anna could barely keep herself from dropping her hand. "I'm just nervous about the ceremony." Anna forced a smile. Years of working for a charitable organization had taught her to keep a straight face in any situation. "Could you get me some water? And maybe ask the photographer to come in. I want to take some pictures before the ceremony." When Lisa left, Anna leaned against the wall, trying to keep her balance. Thousands of thoughts were running through her head. How long had this been going on? How many times had they laughed at her behind her back? All those dinners with the 4 of them, all the vacations they took together. What other lies were they hiding? There was a knock at the door. "Honey, it starts in 15 minutes. Her father's voice brought her back to reality. "Are you ready?" "Yes, Dad, I'm ready," she answered, looking at her reflection in the mirror. The woman looking at her seemed like a stranger, but there was a cold glint in her eyes that hadn't been there before. She will perform this ceremony. She would smile, dance, accept congratulations, and then she would make them pay for every moment of this betrayal, for every kiss, for every touch, for every lie. "Oh, here's the water," Lisa returned with a glass. "To the bride, to the happiest day of your life." "To true friends," Anna replied, raising her glass and looking directly into the eyes of her best friend. Lisa flinched for a moment at her gaze, but quickly composed herself. "What do you mean?" "Oh, I'm just thinking about how life sometimes gives surprises." Anna put down her glass. "Even on the happiest of days." The ceremony began at 4 o'clock sharp. The church hall was decorated with white lines and roses, and hundreds of candles created a romantic atmosphere. Anna walked down the aisle hand in hand with her father, feeling the admiring glances of the guests. "What a happy bride," she heard them whisper. If only they knew. John was waiting for her, smiling and handsome in his black tuxedo. The same John who had sworn yesterday that she was the only woman in his life. The same John who cheated on her with her best friend. "You look amazing," he whispered as she stood next to him. "I'm the luckiest man in the world." "You have no idea," she replied quietly, thinking that this was just the beginning of her own game, a game in which she would no longer be a victim. The priest began the ceremony, and Anna felt her heart fill not with love, but with cold determination. She would give them everything they dreamed of, the perfect wedding, the perfect photos, the perfect smiles. And then she will destroy their lives as methodically as they destroyed her faith in love and friendship. The wedding reception ended late at night. Anna sat in front of the mirror in her new home, mechanically removing her jewelry. Every movement was difficult for her, as if she had aged decades in one day. "You're so beautiful." John appeared in the bedroom doorway, staggering slightly from the champagne he had drunk. "I can't believe you're my wife now." "Really?" She turned slowly to him. "And I can't believe a lot of things." "What do you mean?" He came closer, trying to hug her. Anna pulled away. "I need to take a shower. It's been a long day." "But it's our wedding night." "Exactly." Her voice turned icy. "And I want to spend it exactly the way I want to." Locking herself in the bathroom, Anna turned the water on full blast to drown out the sounds from outside. The tears she had been holding back all day finally spilled over. She remembered how she had met Lisa at university. They were inseparable. They studied together, started their careers together, supported each other in difficult moments. Her phone vibrated. A message from Lisa. "It was the best wedding ever. You were just incredible. Thank you for making me your maid of honor." Anna squeezed the phone so hard that her knuckles turned white. That photo came back to her mind. She opened the gallery and found the picture she had managed to send herself from the flash drive. In the photo, Lisa was sitting on a desk in John's office, her skirt pulled up, and he was standing between her spread legs. They were both laughing, apparently oblivious to the camera running. "Honey," she called through the door, "could you get me my phone? I left it in the bedroom." "Of course, darling." She heard his footsteps, then the sound of her purse opening. Silence. A long silence. Anna smiled as he saw the message from Lisa on the screen. Now he would worry if she had opened any other messages. "Here." His voice sounded tense as he handed her the phone through the crack in the door. "Thank you, darling. You know, I'm so happy to have a great friend like Lisa. She helped so much with the wedding." "Yeah, she's great." "And you think so too?" She sounded slightly ironic. "What? No, I mean, she's just your friend." Anna came out of the bathroom wrapped in a silk robe. Her eyes were red with tears, but John didn't seem to notice. He was too busy with his phone. "Are you texting someone?" she asked innocently. "No, just checking my email." He quickly put the phone away. "Shall we open some more champagne?" "Of course." She walked over to him and kissed him gently on the cheek. "I love you so much." John visibly relaxed. "I love you too, my beauty." That night, Anna did not sleep. She lay next to her husband, who was snoring peacefully, and planned her revenge. She remembered all the small details of her and Lisa's affair that had seemed insignificant before unexpected business meetings, late calls, chance encounters in the city. The next morning, she woke up early and began to prepare breakfast. There was a wedding album on the kitchen table that they planned to look through together. "Good morning, Mrs. Taylor." John hugged her from behind. "How did you sleep?" "Fine." She turned to him with a radiant smile. "You know, I was thinking of inviting Lisa to dinner tonight. We should celebrate the beginning of our married life with those closest to us." John cleared his throat. "Maybe we should just be alone. It is a honeymoon after all." "But we're only flying to Paris in a week," she pouted. "And Lisa's been so lonely lately. You know she hasn't been in a serious relationship in a long time." "Okay, whatever you want." He turned away so she wouldn't see his worried face. Anna picked up the phone and dialed Lisa's number. "Hi, friend. Listen, why don't you come over for dinner tonight? John will cook his specialty steak." She winked at her husband. "What?" Oh, yeah, he's here. Do you want to talk to him? John shook his head sharply, but Anna was already handing him the phone. Honey wants to say hello. She watched as he tried to speak casually, his fingers nervously clutching the phone. Oh, this is going to be an interesting evening. Very interesting. When he went to the shower, Anna opened her laptop and created a new folder called The Plan. The first thing she has to do is collect all the evidence of their betrayal. The second was to find out about John's financial affairs. He had always been very secretive about money, and now she understood why. Her eyes fell on the lawyer's business card she had found among the wedding gifts. Maybe it was a sign. She picked up the phone and dialed the number. Hello, I need a consultation. It's a delicate matter. Yes, it's about marriage. Could we meet today? A week had passed since the wedding. Anna was sitting in a cafe across the street from John's office, watching Lisa enter the building, for the third time in a week. Business meeting, as usual. She opened her diary and made another entry. 10:30, meeting with the CFO. This was how Lisa explained her visits. More coffee? Asked the waitress, who had already gotten used to her new regular customer. Yes, please, and bring me a cheesecake. Today is a special day. Anna smiled mysteriously, a day when everything will begin to unfold. She opened her laptop and began to look through the notes she had been keeping lately. Time of arrival, time of departure, duration of meetings. Everything was documented with meticulous precision. Over the past week, Lisa had spent more time in John's office than at her own workplace. A message from a private detective appeared on the screen. I have some interesting information. Shall we meet? Yes, in an hour in the park, Anna answered. The phone vibrated. A message from Lisa. Shall we meet for lunch? I have something interesting to tell you. Of course, dear. At 1 o'clock at our favorite place? Anna answered, feeling her insides churning with anger and disgust. Half an hour later, she saw Lisa coming out of the office. Her hair was a little disheveled, and her blouse was not buttoned properly. Anna took a few photos with her phone, adding them to her collection of evidence. Before meeting with Lisa, she managed to see a detective. What he told her exceeded all her expectations. It turned out that John was not just cheating. He was double-entry bookkeeping, tax evasion, and had several secret accounts abroad. At the restaurant, Lisa was beaming as if she'd just won the lottery. You won't believe it! I've been promoted! Oh, that's great! Anna hugged her friend, feeling her tense at the sudden display of affection. And how did it happen? Well, I've been working hard lately. Lisa looked away, twirling her wine glass in her hands. The management appreciated my efforts. No doubt. Anna sipped her wine. Does John know? You two often cross paths at work. Lisa flinched, almost spilling her drink. Yes, no, I don't know. We don't see each other very often. That's strange. I saw you outside his office today, and yesterday, and the day before yesterday. Anna spoke calmly, watching her friend's face turn pale. Just a coincidence. Lisa laughed nervously. We have a lot of clients in that neighborhood. Anna smiled. Of course. By the way, do you know anything about John's new project? He's been so secretive lately. He hardly ever talks about his work. Lisa tensed even more. What project? I don't know the details, but he's investing a lot of money in it. Our money together. Anna emphasized the word our. I don't know about his business. Lisa began to pack her things. I have an important meeting. Really? Anna looked her straight in the eye. I thought you two were pretty close lately. You know all his secrets. Lisa blushed. What do you mean? Oh, just that you see each other a lot at work. You know, I'm so glad that my husband and my best friend get along so well. Anna spoke in a sweet voice, but her eyes remained cold. That evening, when she got home, Anna called her old friend from the tax office. Hi, Tom. Do you remember when you said I could ask you for help? I need information about my husband's company. An hour later, she had the documents that confirmed her suspicions. John wasn't as careful as he thought. Transactions through shell companies, fictitious contracts, undeclared income, all of this created a clear picture of fraud. Honey, I'm home, her husband's voice came through. In the kitchen, Anna answered, quickly hiding the documents in a secret folder. How was your day? Tiring. A lot of work. John looked really tired. Anna noticed a trace of lipstick on his shirt, the same shade Lisa liked. "I can imagine." She kissed him on the cheek. "By the way, I met Lisa today. She got a promotion, didn't you know?" John froze before he could put his fork to his mouth. "No, I didn't know." "That's strange. She said she sees you in the office a lot, almost every day." I have a lot of meetings. I don't always notice who comes in." Anna served dinner. "You know, I'm thinking of investing in a new project. What do you think about investing in Switzerland?" John choked on his wine. "Why Switzerland?" "I just heard that the banks there are reliable." She smiled innocently. "Especially for those who want to hide their assets." That night, John couldn't sleep for a long time, constantly checking his phone. Anna heard him quietly go out to the balcony to make a call. She lay in the dark, listening to his muffled voice. "We need to meet. Yes, it's urgent. I suspect something." Anna smiled. "Oh, they don't know yet that she doesn't just suspect. She knows everything, and soon it will be time to show her cards." The day began with a meeting with the lawyer. Anna sat in an elegant office, looking over the evidence she had gathered. "Mrs. Taylor, what you've brought is serious." Attorney Michael Burns adjusted his glasses. "I know." Anna opened the folder of bank statements. "But I want more than that. I want him to lose everything." "Are you sure? This could lead to a criminal case." "Absolutely." Her voice was firm. "He didn't just cheat on me. He used our marriage as a cover for his fraud." Michael nodded. "Good. What do you know about the Swiss account?" "Not much yet. But I have a plan." Anna took out her notebook. "We're having dinner with his business partners in a week. I know that one of them is unhappy with their cooperation." "And you want to use that?" "Exactly. Robert Miller, his partner, has been suspecting something is wrong for a long time. I'll accidentally show him some documents." When Anna returned home, she found John on the phone. "Yes, darling, I miss you too." "No, she doesn't know anything. Everything will be settled soon." Anna deliberately slammed the door. John abruptly ended the conversation. "Oh, you're home already?" He tried to smile. "How was your day?" "It was fine. I was at the bank, looking into investments." She looked at him intently. "You know, I'm thinking of investing my inheritance in a business." John perked up noticeably. "Really?" "I haven't decided yet. Maybe you can give me some advice? You're the financial genius here." "Of course, dear. I have an interesting project in mind." "The one where you invested our joint money?" she asked innocently. John froze. "What do you mean?" "Oh, Lisa just mentioned something about your new investment. She's been so talkative lately." That evening, John talked on the phone for a long time on the balcony. Anna heard snippets of the conversation. "We have to be careful. She suspects something." "No, the documents are in a safe place." The next day, she met with Robert Miller in his office. "Mrs. Taylor, to what do I owe the pleasure?" He looked surprised to see her. "Mr. Miller, I came to talk about my husband, more specifically about your business together." "I don't understand." Anna put a folder on the table. "I think you'll find this interesting, especially the transactions from the last month." Robert looked through the documents. His face changed. This is impossible. He couldn't have." "He could have." "Why are you showing me this?" "Because you're the only one who can stop him legally." "I am just a caring wife who is worried about her husband's business." She smiled. In the evening, John came home pale. "Robert is demanding an extraordinary meeting. He says he's found some irregularities." "Really?" Anna continued to prepare dinner. "Maybe he imagined it." John poured himself a whiskey. "Honey, you know I love you, right?" "Of course, darling. And so does Lisa, right?" The glass fell from his hands. "What?" "Oh, nothing. I just remembered how often you've been seeing each other lately. You're such close friends." John tried to hug her. "On the contrary," she pulled away. "I understand everything perfectly well, and soon you will too." That night, Anna sent an anonymous letter to the tax office. Tomorrow morning, her husband would have a very unpleasant surprise, and the day after tomorrow, a meeting with Lisa, who also has to find out something interesting about her lover. Anna was sitting in her lawyer's office, looking at the results of the financial investigation. "It's worse than we thought." Michael spread the documents on the table. "Your husband didn't just hide his income, he set up a whole network of shell companies." "Tell me more." Anna stepped forward. "Look." He showed a diagram. "The money goes through 5 different companies before it ends up in a Swiss account. And each of these companies has a director listed as the official director, Lisa Peterson." Anna smiled bitterly. My best friend turned out to be not only a lover, but also an accomplice. "Did she sign the documents?" "Yes, her signature is on all the important papers. She is fully aware of the case." Anna took out her phone and showed the lawyer a message from Lisa. "Can we meet tomorrow? I have something important to say." "She's nervous," Anna explained, after Robert Miller started investigating. On her way home, she received a call from a private investigator. "Mrs. Taylor, I have photos from the hotel. Your husband and Miss Peterson meet there every Tuesday. Send everything to my email, and keep track of the money in their accounts." An excited John was waiting for her at home. "Honey, we need to talk. About business." "Of course, dear. What's wrong?" "Robert? He's threatening to go to the authorities. He says he's found some irregularities." Anna calmly poured herself some wine. "And what are you going to do?" "I need money. Your inheritance. We could use it to close some loopholes." "Oh, so it's loopholes now?" She looked him in the eye. John paled. "How do you—" "You know, darling, I know a lot of things, like how you and Lisa set up a network of shell companies. Very clever, by the way." "Anna, I can explain everything." "Of course you can. For example, can you explain to me why you are hugging my friend in the photos from the Ritz Hotel? Or maybe you can tell me about the money you transfer to her account every month." John sank back into his chair. "You've got it all wrong." "Really?" Anna pulled out a folder. "Then maybe you can explain these documents? Lisa's signature is on each one. Dates, the amounts, everything is documented." "What do you want?" "A divorce, and half of all the assets, including the ones in Switzerland." "You can't—" "Yes, I can. And you know what? Tomorrow the tax office will see it all. Unless, of course, you agree to my terms." At that moment the phone rang. Anna handed him the phone. "I think your mistress should know that she is facing criminal charges for complicity in financial fraud." John waved the phone away. "Fine. What do you want?" "We're meeting with my lawyer tomorrow at 10 o'clock. He's prepared all the papers. And yes, Lisa should be there too. Let her know what you've gotten her into." The next morning, all the participants in the drama gathered at the lawyer's office. Lisa looked confused. John looked exhausted. "So," Michael began, laying out the documents, "we have 2 options. 1. You both sign the divorce papers and divide the property according to Mrs. Taylor's terms." "You can't do this to us," Lisa whispered. "I can't?" Anna looked at her former friend. "Is it okay to betray and steal?" An hour later, all the documents were signed. Anna left the office with a sense of relief. The first stage of her plan was complete. Now she just had to make sure that the truth about her best friend became known to everyone. Anna looked at the photos of the luxurious country house on her laptop screen. It was here that her next meeting with Lisa was to take place. "This is the perfect place to invest," she said, when Lisa finally showed up. Lisa looked around nervously. "Why did you call me? After what happened at the lawyer's office?" "Oh, forget about that unpleasant misunderstanding," Anna smiled. "I want to offer you a deal, a chance to make things right." "What are you talking about?" "I know you dream of owning your own business, and I know that John promised to help you, but he never did." Lisa shuddered. "How do you—" "Honey, I know everything, even that he was using you as a front man in his machinations. But I can help you get out of this situation." Anna opened a folder with documents. "Look, this complex is the perfect place for a luxury spa. The location, the infrastructure, everything is just perfect. All it needs is an investment." "And you want me to—" "To convince John to invest. He still trusts you." Anna spoke softly, but her eyes remained cold. "This is his chance, and yours too. But after everything that happened, that's why he'll agree, to try to make things right, and you'll get a share in the business. You'll finally be independent." A week later, Lisa called. He agreed. He says he's ready to invest $2 million. "Great," Anna smiled. "Now listen carefully." The plan was simple. Anna knew that the building had serious problems with its foundation. In 6 months, it would be unusable. But John did not know about it. "Are you sure everything's going to be okay?" Lisa asked as she signed the documents. "Of course, darling. Have I ever let you down?" Anna patted her friend on the shoulder. John looked pleased as he signed the check. "This is our new beginning, isn't it?" "Oh, it's definitely a beginning," Anna muttered. The next day, she met with the building inspector. "Everything is ready?" "Yes, the building's emergency report will be ready in 6 months, just in time for the return on investment." Great. In the evening, Lisa sent a message. "Maybe we should stop everything? I'm afraid." "It's too late, darling. You made your choice when you got into my husband's bed." All I got back was, "I'm sorry." "Really?" Anna whispered, looking at the screen. A month later, the reconstruction work was in full swing. John came to the site every week, becoming more and more excited about the project. "You know," he said one evening, "I'm glad we were able to get this done. This project, it's like a symbol of our reconciliation." Anna just smiled, remembering the engineer's report that was in her safe. In 5 months, everything would fall apart. The building and John's dreams of saving his situation. And Lisa had already begun to realize that she had been used twice, first by John, then by Anna. But it was too late. Her signature was on all the documents, and when the truth came out, she would have nowhere to hide. Anna watched the sunset from the window of her new office. Revenge turned out to be a sweet dish, and the best part was that she was just beginning to taste it. Anna had been carefully preparing for a party to celebrate the 5th anniversary of her charity. She invited everyone, old friends, business partners, and of course, John and Lisa. The seating arrangements were planned down to the last detail. The plan was simple: gather all the influential people in the city and sow the first seeds of doubt about John's business. No scandal, no direct accusations, just a few well-placed phrases. The guests started arriving at 7. Anna greeted everyone with a radiant smile. When John showed up, she noticed him looking around nervously. "Good to see you," he muttered. "I didn't think you'd invite me." "Oh, come on, darling. We're civilized people." Lisa was the last to arrive. She looked tired and scared. During dinner, Anna started her game. "Oh, John, tell everyone about your new projects. You're always so successful in business." I'd rather not now." "Why not?" Anna raised her glass. "Lisa can confirm what a talented businessman you are. You two work together so much." Martha, the wife of John's business partner, raised her eyebrows. "Oh, I didn't know you two worked together." "Yes," Anna smiled. "They're a very effective team." Robert Miller, who was sitting next to her, was watching the conversation closely. "John, by the way, I'd like to discuss some issues regarding our joint investment." "Sure, but maybe not now." John loosened his tie. "You know," Anna continued, addressing the guests, "sometimes business brings such unexpected things. For example, I recently learned a lot of interesting things about some financial schemes." "Anna," John tried to interrupt her. "Oh, I'm not talking about you, dear. Just general observations. Robert, you know how important it is to check all documents before signing them, right?" Robert nodded slowly, considering something. "Yes, especially when it comes to large sums of money." Lisa sat pale as a sheet. "Did you know that our new spa is supposed to be the largest in the city?" Anna asked innocently. "Although, I've heard some disturbing rumors about the condition of the building lately." "What rumors?" John asked sharply. "But it's better to check it out, isn't it?" The evening continued. The guests were talking and laughing, but Anna noticed some of the businessmen whispering quietly, nodding in John's direction. Robert Miller took out his phone several times and wrote something down. When the party was ending, John looked exhausted. "Why did you do that?" "What did you do, honey? I just had a great night for my friends." The next day, Anna received a message from Robert Miller asking for a meeting. The first stage of her plan had worked. The doubts had been sown. Now she just had to wait for them to germinate. After that party, Lisa's life turned into a nightmare. She couldn't sleep, constantly checked her phone, and flinched at every call. John changed too. He became cold and distant. One morning, she finally decided to call Anna. "We need to talk." "Of course, dear. Shall we meet at our favorite cafe?" When Lisa arrived, Anna was already waiting for her, elegant as ever. "You look tired," Anna said. "You haven't been sleeping well." "I can't take it anymore," Lisa spoke softly, almost in a whisper. "John, he's changed since that party. He says all his partners have started asking strange questions." "Oh, really?" Anna sipped her coffee. "What are they interested in? Finances, documents, new projects. Robert Miller even hired auditors." "That's unpleasant." Anna watched her former friend closely. "What are you going to do?" I want to break it off. With John." Anna slowly put down her cup. "Why now?" "He's using me. I've only just realized it. All those documents I signed. Didn't you notice it before? When you signed papers for fictitious companies? Or when you were betraying your best friend?" Lisa shuddered. You know." "Honey, I know everything." Anna took out an envelope. "Here, look." The envelope contained photographs of Lisa and John in various situations, copies of bank documents, hotel bills. "I didn't mean to." Lisa burst into tears. "It all started by accident. He was so attentive, said I was special. And me?" Anna's voice became icy. "I've been your friend for 15 years. We went through everything together, my failed relationship, your divorce, your mother's death. I'm so sorry," Lisa sobbed. "I'm so stupid. You know what's worse?" Anna leaned closer. "He never loved you. You were just convenient. You signed the papers, didn't ask questions." "That's not true." "It is. And I can prove it." Anna pulled out another envelope. "Do you know who Michelle is from accounting? It turns out you're not the only one he's been working with after work." Lisa turned white. "What?" "Oh, yes, and she signed some documents too. Interesting, isn't it?" Lisa grabbed her bag and ran out of the cafe. Anna calmly finished her coffee, knowing that in an hour, Lisa would be in John's office throwing a tantrum. In the evening, she received a call from Robert. "You were right about the documents. We found serious irregularities." "And what are you going to do?" "Tomorrow is the board meeting. We will demand explanations." Anna smiled. "Keep me posted. Late at night, I received a text from Lisa. You were right. He was lying to me. I'm scared. What should I do?" "Come back tomorrow. We'll talk." The next day, Lisa looked even worse. "I've ruined everything. Your reputation, our friendship." "Yes," Anna answered calmly. "But it's not too late to fix it." "How?" "Tell me everything. About the documents, about the fraud, about how he forced you to sign the papers. But then I was also—" "You have a choice. Either you are a victim who was used or an accomplice. Make up your mind." Lisa was silent for a long time, then took out her phone. "I have proof. Correspondence, documents. I kept everything." "Smart girl." Anna patted her hand. "Now tell me everything, from the very beginning." And Lisa did. About the first kiss in the office, about John's promises of a divorce, about the documents she signed without reading them. Anna listened intently, writing down every word. It was another nail in the coffin. That morning, the office of John's company resembled a stirring beehive. The board of directors had gathered for an emergency meeting, and the atmosphere was tense. Anna sat in the front row, elegant in her black suit. Next to her, Lisa, who had agreed to testify against John, was nervously fidgeting with her fingers. "Mr. Taylor," Robert Miller opened the meeting, "we have discovered serious irregularities in the company's financial statements." John tried to remain calm. "Perhaps there's been a misunderstanding." "Misunderstanding?" Robert laid out the documents. "You call that a misunderstanding?" "I have all the necessary documents." "Signed by Miss Peterson?" Anna interjected. "She already told us about how you forced her to sign the papers." John turned to Lisa. "What did you do?" "I told the truth," she replied quietly. The hearing lasted 3 hours. Each new document, each testimony sank John deeper and deeper. When the tax representative began to read out the list of violations, he finally broke down. "Okay," he whispered, "I'll explain everything." But it was too late. The board of directors had voted to remove him. The shareholders demanded a full audit, and the tax representative was already preparing documents for a criminal case. Anna watched all this with a slight smile. In her purse was an envelope with the last piece of evidence, photos of John's meetings with criminal elements. But this evidence would no longer be needed. He had destroyed himself. After the meeting, John tried to talk to her. "Are you satisfied? You've destroyed everything I've built up over the years. You destroyed everything. I just helped the truth come out." "What about the spa? That's where your money is too." Anna laughed. "What money? I didn't invest a single cent there. It was all your money. And by the way, in a week, the inspection will recognize the building as an emergency." "What? Oh, you didn't know? What a shame. It seems that your last chance to save yourself is also falling apart." In the evening, Anna sat in her office watching the news. A well-known businessman is accused of financial fraud. Scandal in the business world. Millions in embezzlement and forgery. Lisa called me. "What's going to happen now?" "Nothing. You're a victim. He forced you to sign documents, threatened you. Isn't that right?" "Yes, that's right." "Good. Stick to that story." The next day, John tried to leave the country, but he was detained at the airport. All his accounts were frozen, his assets seized. Anna watched the news of his arrest while sipping expensive wine. She remembered the day she found the photos on the flash drive. Then she promised herself that she would make him pay for everything, and she kept her word. The phone rang. It was her lawyer. "Mrs. Taylor, the divorce papers are ready, and given the situation, you'll get more than we expected." "Great. What about the house?" "It's yours, as is half of the company's assets." Anna smiled. "You know, revenge is a dish best served cold, and with good wine." A year passed. Anna was sitting on the terrace of her new home, enjoying her morning coffee and looking through the business press. On the front page was her photo with a caption, "Anna Taylor Charitable Foundation launches new program to support women entrepreneurs." A lot has changed in the past year. John was sentenced to 5 years in prison for financial fraud. His empire collapsed like a house of cards. The spa he had invested his last money in was declared unsafe and closed. His phone vibrated, a message from Lisa. "I'm moving to Boston, new job, new life. I wanted to say goodbye." Anna stared at the screen for a long time. Lisa. Once her best friend, then a traitor, and now just a ghost of the past. After the scandal with John, she lost almost everything. Her reputation, her job, her friends. Although Anna had saved her from prosecution by presenting her as a victim of circumstance, their friendship was destroyed forever. "Ma'am, you have a visitor," the maid interrupted her thoughts. "Mr. Miller." Robert looked concerned. "Have you heard the news?" "I heard," Anna answered calmly, "but he won't succeed. You're an incredible woman." Robert looked at her with respect. "You know, at first I didn't believe my wife could be so forward-thinking." "Men often underestimate women," Anna smiled. That evening, she pulled out an old wedding photo. A happy bride, a loving groom, a smiling friend. All those smiles turned out to be fake, but the pain was real. Anna went to the fireplace and threw the photo into the fire. It was enough to live in the past. She had a different life now, a successful business, a charity foundation, new goals. Her revenge was perfect. She didn't just destroy the lives of those who betrayed her, she became stronger, wiser, and now she was helping other women in difficult situations. The doorbell rang. A courier delivery had arrived. The envelope contained a newspaper clipping, an article about the suicide of one of John's former partners. He couldn't stand the shame and financial ruin. Anna put the article aside. Sometimes revenge has unexpected consequences, but she didn't feel guilty. Everyone makes their own choices. Her window offered a beautiful view of the city, her city. She was now one of the most powerful women in the business world, and everyone knew that Anna Taylor was not to be trifled with. She had a new project on the table, the creation of a network of women's crisis centers. She would use her experience, her pain, her strength to help others. The phone vibrated again, this time with a message from her lawyer. John's appeal has been rejected. The sentence stands. Anna raised her glass of wine. To a new life, without betrayal and false smiles. She had several important appointments on her calendar for tomorrow. Life went on, and now it was exactly the way she wanted it to be: honest, strong, and without compromise of conscience. And somewhere in prison, John was still trying to understand how his perfect plan had fallen apart. How his wife, whom he considered naive and trusting, turned out to be smarter than him. But it was too late. Too late for understanding and remorse.